Because if you don't do that, right, you won't see the difference between your pioneer status and your investment tax allowance. Yeah. But today I will concentrate on investment tax allowance. So we are going to look into question number 3, right? If you look into question number 1, right, number 1, we cannot do any investment tax allowance because information on the qualifying expenditure is not provided, right? So you can only do for pioneer status. Question number 2, we have no cheating neighborhood. We are given adjusted income, capital allowance, but there's no information on the capital expenditure as well, right? So question number 2, you can only do pioneer status. For question number 3, we have Yezas neighborhood, right? So it was given a pioneer status, all right, it qualifies for pioneer status or investment tax allowance for 5 years. However, the board of directors is undecided whether to apply for pioneer status or ITA. So this is a very common scenario where company have to think whether they want to go for pioneer status or investment tax allowance. Yeah, so in order to decide, right, they will have to do some computation. They will have to do some forecast of their income and expenditure, whether they have a lot of investment, all right, in terms of capital expenditure, and then they see whether for the next 5 years during the tax relief period, whether the company should go for pioneer status or investment tax allowance. Yeah. So as the accountant of the company, you have been asked to present to the board of directors an analysis of the tax implication of both incentive. So you have to do both the pioneer status and the ITA. Production day is expected to be set on March 1st, 2020. The company closed account to 31st of December. Is it clear so far?
Clear, madam.
All right. Okay, you are provided with the following forecast for the period of January 1st until 31st December. Assume business income accrues evenly. So it means that if your income, in this case, your loss is 1,200, so accrues evenly, it means that every month you have 100,000 of loss or income. Yeah, so that's what it says, accrues evenly. And then whatever you have here is divided, assume business income. So it means that it's just the income here is divided by 12. Determine the tax relief period. So in this case, when is your production day? Production day is 31st of March 2020, right? So your year end is 31st of December. So what would be the first TRP, tax relief period, for pioneer status? So in this case is a tax relief period. I mean, either pioneer status or the investment tax allowance. So the production day would be 1st of March. So in that case, the first basis period for the tax relief, yeah, is from 1st of March 2020 to 31st of December 2020. So that will be the first, your pioneer, in this case, your tax relief period, and then you have 1 year ending 31st of December 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, I think. And then the last year, you only have 2 months, yeah, which ends on 28th of February. All right. And then prepare an analysis of tax implication of Pioneer and ITA to be presented to the Board of Directors for the year of assessment 2020 until 2023, with special mention of the chargeable income, amount credited to exempt account, and any item amount carried forward to YA 2024. All right, your analysis must cover 1st January, all right, 31st of December. So why is this given as a hint? Because remember that your production day is the 1st of March. So it means that, all right, your accounting year end is 31st December. It means that it starts on 1st of January. So you have a pre-pioneer period from 1st January to 28th of February. So that is your pre-pioneer period. And then you have the pioneer period from 1st March until the 31st of December. So now you have 2 months period, and then you have the 10 months period. So that is under pioneer status, right? So you're going to have the pre-pioneer and the pioneer period as 2 separate accounts, right? So you have to see that, because now your pre-pioneer is your non-promoted activities. Yeah. Once you have 1st of March and leave the same business, right, then only you have the as a promoted activity under the pioneer status. Yeah. So you're going to have that 2 periods. That's why it says that the period starts on 1st of January. Based on computation in above, which incentive will you recommend to the board of directors and why? So these are the common. At the end of the day, you want to know, okay, which one is better for the company? Should I go for pioneer status or should I go for ITA? All right. Let's see Najihatul Humaira. Are you
Yes,
here?
madam.
Okay, when you want to decide whether you want to go for pioneer status or ITA, what are the things that you have to consider? Remember in the last class, you have to compare between pioneer status and ITA. The example.
Is it exam income?
Yes, number one is exempt income. Number two,
Chargeable income?
all right, chargeable income, or you can compare your tax liability, whichever it is. All right, in this case, they want the chargeable income. Number three.
Number 3, I'm not sure.
Okay, whatever that you can carry forward. So in this case, if you it's about capital allowance, whether it's under pioneer status or under ITA, the capital allowance is the same, the amount that you carry forward. But you also want to see losses, all right? Any unabsorbed losses that you can carry forward under pioneer status and under ITA. It's not the same because under pioneer status, pioneer loss can only be set off against your pioneer income. But under ITA, if you have losses can be set off against aggregate income, and this loss can come either from your promoted product or promoted activities or non-promoted activities. So as a result, under pioneer status and under ITA, the losses that you can carry forward will be different, right? So you want to show these three items: the exempt account, and the chargeable income, and the losses that you carry forward. So when you want to compare, you just take the total of the 5 years period, for example, yeah? So what is the total chargeable income the 5 years period? What is the total exempt income for the 5 years period? And any carry forward means that one amount at the end of the TRP, what will be the loss carry forward that you have? All right, is that clear? Right. So now let's look into your, before we go into ITA, all right, have you done this question, Yeza, under pioneer status? Jawab belum? Tak apalah, buat macam mana. Alright, so for the pioneer status, alright, let's look into the pioneer status. First, I will do this very quickly because we're supposed to do ITA only. Alright, under pioneer status, you have adjusted loss, so you just plug in the information. You have the first adjusted loss 1,200 for 2020. But remember that for pioneer period, for pioneer status, you have two periods. One is the pre-pioneer and we have the other pioneer period. So the pre-pioneer is also the non-pioneer period, or the non-promoted activities, all right, because you are not yet in the pioneer period. So you have that 2 months from January to 28th of February. So when you have to divide these losses, you're going to divide accrues evenly. So it means that for January and February, you have 200, and from March onwards, you have 1,000 losses. So that's why you are going to divide these 200 and 1,000 losses. Yeah. So remember that this is the pre-pioneer and this is the pioneer period. So you have two period here, 24 YA 2020. All right. So many students actually confused here under pioneer status because they thought that you just have that 1,200, right? So you have to divide that into pre-pioneer, and it's so important. Why? Because here is an adjusted loss. So when you have adjusted loss, remember under pioneer status, these losses will be set off against your promoted data. Yeah, okay. And then you plug in the other income, adjusted income, 10,000, 7,003, and 8,001. So you have 10,000, 7,003, and 8,100 for 2023. So plug in the information. And you are also given the capital allowance. So you don't have to compute, it's just that you have to plug in the information. So for the first year, 8,001, remember that. Under pioneer status, whatever capital allowance that you incurred in the pre-pioneer is deemed to be incurred in the pioneer period. So it means that for this capital allowance, it will be claimed everything in the pioneer period. You don't have to divide into pre-pioneer and pioneer period. The only thing that you divide is the losses. Yeah. Why? Because capital allowance, again, whatever incurred in the pre-pioneer in that year, all right, for example, in this case, we are referring to the period January and February. So whatever CA in January and February is deemed to be incurred in production period or during the pioneer period. So you have 8,100 capital allowance. So you plug in the current capital allowance, all right, information provided to you, plug in that information. So once you have plugged in the information, then only you compute your statutory income. All right, so you're given in the first year, 2020, all right, this is the pre-pioneer period. So you only have losses here. So you don't have anything else, yeah? What about your non-promoted, unabsorbed, all right, interest is also deemed to be incurred. Whatever income late, other than that, you are deemed to be incurred during the pioneer period, okay? And in the 2020, during the pioneer period, you have losses. So whatever CA that you have, you're going to carry forward to 2021. In 2021, now you have an income of 10,000. All right, your brought forward CA is 8,100. The current CA is 3,100. So you have a available CA of 11,200. So because the income is only 10,000, so you're going to utilize 10,000 only. So the balance 1,002 you carry forward. So because adjusted income is 10,000, you utilize your CA of 10,000. So your SI is 0. Yeah. And when you come to 2022, you have 7,300 income. But now your CA brought forward is 1,002 and your current is only 3,001. Available is 4,003. So you're going to use everything, 0 to be carried forward, and therefore you have adjusted income 7,300 minus 4,300 of your CA. So your statutory income is 3,000. Right, and the following year you have income of 8,100. Nothing of CA brought forward, but current year you have 3,100. As a result, you have a statutory income of 5,000. Okay, so then you compute what is the 70% abated. 70% abated based on your SI. So you have 0, 0, 0 here because here you have a statutory income of nil. Okay, and then for 2022, only you have 70% abated of 2.1 and 3.5%, 3.5 thousand in 2023. All right, current year non-promoted loss. Remember that this is the losses from the non-promoted. So when you do not utilize here, it means that you are going to utilize against your aggregate income. But here, your aggregate income is 0. All right, it means that whatever you have here, right, 200 means that the current year non-promoted loss, the 200, you're going to carry forward to the following year. So the following year, it should be here of 200. Salah ni. I think it's 50. Here is income. Hold on, yeah. I think that, let me check. Income 50 is in 2021. Mana 2020? Kenapa 2021 soalannya? You have income here, interest income 2020, you have that 50,000. What's that? Donation and qualifying expenditure. Okay, it's okay. All right, so this, you don't have it here. Everything is assessed in the pioneer period. Aggregate income is 50. Remember that aggregate income is other income. So aggregate income for 2020, you have 50. And losses, remember just now you have 200 losses. Oh, I should be right? I have 10 more minutes. 50 current year non-promoted loss. So you have 50. So how much you carry forward? You carry forward 150. All right, from 200 losses, utilize against your aggregate income, mean that the balance 150 you carry forward to next year. Next year it becomes unabsorbed loss brought forward. Okay, so when it comes to 20, and then because of that, where is your deemed total income? Deemed total income is 0 because your statutory income is 0. All right, when it comes to 2021, similarly, you have 0, 0. So whatever you have losses here, you're going to carry forward to the following year, right? So you're not using that yet, right? So you're going to carry forward here 150. So here is 0. You get that? Right? So again, you have 50,000 here, but there's no more current year losses, right? So then you cannot set off. So, and then you have approved donation of 3,000, right? 2021, you have 3,000 approved donation. Remember that the maximum donation you can claim is 5,000. So if you donate 3,000, so everything you can claim. And then the total income is the 30% of your SI. And then from that, you have, what is your aggregate income? 50 minus 3. So total income is 47. Your deemed total income, sorry, this is 47. It's actually from 50 minus 3,000. Your total income 47, but your deemed total income is 0 because your SI here is also 0. So 0, 30% is 0 lah. Okay. And then the following year, when you have promoted income, all right, so you have 3,070% is 2001. There's no loss from the non-promoted, but the promoted loss, where is this come from? The 1,000 actually comes from 2020 here, right? From 2020, when you have the loss here, 1,200, 200 is the non-promoted, 1,000 is the promoted loss. So the promoted loss initially is here, right? It's here, but then because you do not have any income, so that's why I do not want to write that, right? So actually it's here, and then you carry forward to the following year. So still you don't have any income, so you carry forward to another year. So that's how you have the 1,000 loss from the promoted to be set off against your 70% abatement. So 2,100 minus 1,000. So you have 1,100 that goes into your exempt income. And when it comes to the following year, 2023, the 70% abated, there's no losses either from the promoted and non-promoted. So whatever the 70% abated will go directly to your exempt income. All right, so far so good. Muhammad Akmal Syahmi.
Yes, madam.
Okey tak?
Okay, madam.
Dah sama tak dengan jawapan you buat? Sama ya? Exactly
Madam.
Buat ke tak?
Madam.
Okay. Alright, and then for the other non-promoted product, so you are non-promoted income, you don't have any non-promoted now, but then the losses you have 150 here, right? The 150 again you do not utilize yet. Why? Because here statutory income is 0. Yeah. So and then you are not going to utilize that, and then you carry forward to next year, you will not utilize again because why? Your statutory income from non-promoted is 0. Yeah, statutory income here is 0. So even though it's here, you're going to carry forward to next year. So you akan carry forward indefinitely lah. Not sekarang ni tak indefinitely. Apa I buat ni? 150 loss. I cannot have it here. Right? I cannot have it here, I think, because it's a loss condition. Okay, so 50 here, and then kita memang tak ada loss kan? Okay, and then 50 aggregate income, there's no loss, and then approved donation is 4. Total income is 50 minus 4, you have 46. Your deemed total income is 30% of your SI, so you have a chargeable of 946. Do you get the same answer? Anyone got the different answer?
Same, madam.
Same ya? Okay. I ingat tadi I macam. Okay, and then finally for 2023, similarly you have interest income 50, you have a donation of 5, deemed total income of 45, 50 minus 5, then you have 30% total chargeable income is 1545. Alright, kalau in your exam, I just look at your chargeable income kat sini. If I see that, okay, it's the same number, I know lah, most likely you get a full mark. So kalau this kind of question, alright, actually it takes me a very short period of time to do the marking, because if you get it right, alright, I just ada one tick, bagi terus bagi full mark. Right, kalau the answer chargeable income is not right, alright, it's not the same as my schema, then I have to go one after another lah. Right, selalunya if you get it right, you get it right for the whole question. Alright. So far that's your pioneer status. So when you want to do for your apa nama dia? This one, Yeza is the pioneer. Have you done for the apa nama dia? ITA?
Yes.
So what would be your chargeable income? Okay, let's see. Aku tak ready pun. Move or copy. Create a copy before. Okay. So let's see if it's if it is a ITA. So when you do ITA, right, remember that it's the same question with the same information. So you do not have to redo everything, right? You can actually start from the 70% SI. Kenapa lah I tak boleh nak buat? Right, for the ITA, you don't have to do everything, all right? So when you do pioneer status, you complete anti-chargeable income. So when you want to do ITA, you just take this figure. You start from your 70% abated, right? You start from 70% abated, but here, of course, it's different already. Let's delete everything here, right? So when you have the 70% abated, you know that you have the 60% what? QE, all right? So this is your 60% QE is your current, right? Current, and then you have ITA brought forward. We have ITA available, and then ITA get utilized. Okay, panjangkan sikit. Insert, right? And then ITA utilized, you have ITA you carry forward, and this one then you have your exempt income. Right? Can you remember this? Exempt income. Right. So what we have here now is that common bold. Okay. For your ITA, all right, remember that for pioneer status, you have to divide the pre-pioneer and the pre-pioneer and the pioneer period. For ITA, there's no need for you to do that, right? So you don't have to do any division in the YA 2020. So for ITA, there's no pioneer and pre-pioneer, right? Whatever the year for that year, even though your production day is 1st of March, all right, but for YA 2020, you know that you have the same, right? You total up everything is the same. So in this case, your set income here is still 8,100, right? But the difference here is that for pioneer status, you have here you don't have anything here, right? But here you have 1,200. You get that? Right? So that there's difference between pioneer and ITA. You don't have to divide, right, the losses into 2 periods, but then you only have the whole thing as ITA for the first year. Right? Okay, let's see that your 70% is 0. What is the QE? So what is your QE? How much is your QE? 30,000, right? Sorry? 30,000 times 0.6. Isn't it? 18,000. So that 18,000 is the one that you incurred, and it was informed that your qualifying is there's only one year only you qualify. All right, you have the qualifying expenditure, right? So looking at this, I know that this is not a good option for the company, because for you to have the best ITA results, all right, you should have a lot of qualifying expenditure every year during the tax relief period. But in this case, you don't. Yeah. Okay. And then mana dia? 18,000. So you don't have any brought forward figure. So your available is your your brought forward and your current. Okay, so that will be your available QE ITA. So how much you utilize? 0. Right, so how much actually you carry forward is whatever you have here. I will put here. Okay, you carry forward 18,000, but what goes into your exempt income is 0 because you don't utilize anything in your ITE, from your ITE. Okay, and the following year, all right, your brought forward figure is whatever you have here, right? But in this case, you don't have any CA for the current year because you only incurred your CA in the first year, not CA, you call it qualifying expenditure. So for 2021 onwards, you don't have anything, currency QE 0, right? And then you will have your how much you available is because you have not used it yet, right? That's why you have the 18,000. But the second year also you don't use anything, right? So it means that what is carried forward is similarly is still 18,000. What goes into your exempt income is 0 depending on what is utilized. The next year, similarly, right, you have the brought forward figure, which is the 18,000, right? But now you have 70% abated, right? So once you have the 70% abated, then you are going to utilize that 70%, 2,100. All right, initially you have available of 18,000, you utilize 2,100 and the balance goes into your carry forward. So remember that whatever amount ITA utilized goes into your exempt income. For the following year, all right, you have brought forward of 15,900, 0 for your QE, but you have income of 3,500, so you're going to utilize 3,500 from your ITA, so now that goes into your exempt income. So when you do a comparison later, you have to state this amount of ITA available to be carried forward. I think that now, previously it was indefinitely. It means that you can carry forward as long as, it means that later when it comes to your post-pioneer period, let's assume that 2024 is your post-pioneer period. So what you have is that whatever your SI here, all right, whatever you have SI here, for example, let's say you have 10,000 SI, right, you will minus your whatever ITA you have here, right? You have 19,400, means that you're going to use 10,000, right? ITA carry forward. And the following year, you're going to use the balance 9,400. So you are going to utilize your ITA, all right? Previously, it was indefinitely. It means that until you fully utilize, but now they have put a strict there. I think that now maximum is 7 years only, right? So that's why we say that whatever the carry forward figure, right, whether it's losses or your ITA, you can use to set off or to reduce your future income. Okay, so this is the amount that you want to highlight in your answer later. For the yes.
It's like deduct, right? 15,900 deduct with 3,500.
Hold on. Lain sekali. Deduct. I buat deduct ke tak? Oh, sorry, I tak buat deduct. Contohnya. Okay. Alright. So you have the 12,400. Thank you, dear. Right. So the following year you have minus 2,400 lah kalau you utilize 10,000 in the first year. Right. So this is what we say that you can use even after your pioneer period, after your TRP, you can still use the ITA to be set off against your statutory income. It's just that during post TRP, there's nothing that goes into your exempt income, right? There's nothing that goes into your exempt income, so it's a loss to the company lah. They should use the ITA during the TRP, right? So if they use the ITA during TRP, then whatever you utilize will go into your exempt income. But in this case, if you use it after TRP, then even though you utilize the ITA, that amount does not goes into your exempt income. Okay? Right. Any other question? Tak ada. Alright. So then you continue lah. Alright, from your non-promoted, you don't have anything from non-promoted. Some question you do have non-promoted income, yeah. So you have to fill up the statutory income as well. And unabsorbed loss brought forward here, you have similarly, but the difference is that because now, right, you have 50 the losses here, all right, you use here means that you have 150 lah. Right, no, not 150. What is the unabsorbed loss brought forward? What would be your unabsorbed loss brought forward in 2021? How much loss you have? 2020, you have loss of 1,200. How much you utilize? You only utilize 50. So means that the 1,200 plus 50, so it means that you have a 1150. Yeah, 1150 that you carry forward the losses to the following year. Remember that the losses come from, in this case, the promoted, right? In this case, current year promoted. Right, so you have initially you have 2,000 that you utilize 50, so that's why you carry forward to next year. All right, and remember that for ITA, all right, you don't have this total income and your deemed total income. I forget delete here, but you do have here your 30% SI, right? So where do you put here? Non-promoted, let's put here insert. Remember what are the three types of SI? There's the unabsorbed SI. You have the 30% SI, right? So what would be your unabsorbed? In this case, there's no unabsorbed, but your 30% SI is whatever SI here times by 0.3, right? So you don't have anything here because you have losses, but the following year you have that. Okay, right? So it makes a difference here. So 30% SI, that you have non-promoted SI, you don't have anything here, right? So your aggregate, so we call it here as aggregate SI. Aggregate statutory income. All right. So if you have this non-promoted, so if information is provided to you on the non-promoted income, all right, you have to complete the SI from the right, statutory income from non-promoted, all right? And then only you have the aggregate income. So aggregate income here is actually from your unabsorbed SI plus your 30% SI plus your statutory income from your non-promoted. Okay. So you have 6 yang true. C not there. 1 jump it. Okay. You mean that your from your unabsorbed SI plus your 30% SI plus your statutory income from your non-promoted, right? So you have aggregate SI. So you copy that formula, right? So in this case, you have 900 from the 30%, 900 here, right? And 1,500 from 2023. And let's see, okay, let's see here. Now you have income here. You don't have any, so the losses initially it was 1,200. Utilize 50 here, and then you carry forward 1150, right? Your chargeable income is actually whatever you have from aggregate income here, yeah. Let's see that 50 you carry forward 1150, and 150 you carry forward to the following year, right? So remember that initially you have 1,200, and then you utilize 50, and then you carry forward. So when you carry forward here, all right, you cannot use utilize here because you have 0 here. So it means that whatever you have here, aggregate income, upon donation, you have chargeable income. But when it comes to the following year, all right, you have 900 aggregate statutory income. How much is your balance? Is 1150. So it means that you're going to utilize only 900. Yeah. So how much loss you have? Not loss. Balance of losses that you have. All right, you have a balance of 250. Do you get how do you get your 250? Initially, you have loss of 1,200, and then you utilize against your aggregate income here, right? And then what do you do? Then you carry forward 1150, okay, and then you utilize against your aggregate SI of 900, so balance of 250. So here you have another 250. So what happened here, 900, and then 900 minus 900 is 0. You have 50 as your interest, aggregate income is still 50, minus 4, then you have 46. What happened here is that 1,500 minus loss of 250 plus 50, that's how you get 1,300 aggregate income, right? And then your donation is 5, so that's how you get 1,295. Let's see, 1,295. How much is your, okay, 2, 3, 4, 6, all right? So this is your income, and this is your aggregate donation. How much donation you can have here? Not 5, but minus 6. All right, so that's how you get maximum is 13,000. So you can claim everything of your donation of minus 6. So your chargeable income is 47, 46, and 1,294. Let me check the answer. 0, 47 here, 46, and 1,294. So how do you get that 346? Let me see, 50. 47, oh betul lah, 47, 46, and 1,294. Right, so that's how you actually compute your, what do you call this? Your investment tax allowance. So let's see if, for example, if you were to compare, right? So if you were to compare under pioneer status, and then you have under ITA. So what you want to compare is number 1 is your exempt income.
Madam,
Yes.
before that, we can't deduct our loss with our interest income, madam.
Tak boleh sebab loss tu kat atas.
Oh, okay.
You can always minus loss against your aggregate SI, but not against your other income. Other income you boleh kalau is the first year. Here macam ni, the losses you can set off against your aggregate income. Only in the current year lah, because the current year loss. But once you not utilize the losses, you carry forward to next year dah jadi unabsorbed loss brought forward. And that brought forward figure is to be set off against your aggregate SI. Nampak kat sini? So level dia macam tu. You tak boleh nak against. You get that? So it means that even though you here you have, you can actually, you want to make use of 950 kalau boleh kan? You cannot do that because why? Because this one is against your aggregate SI only. Is that clear?
Yes, madam. Thank you.
Okay, so for your exempt income, how much is the exempt income under Pioneer and then how much is under ITA? So kalau ITA ada berapa exempt income? So you just take the total kat sini, alright? So you want to total for the 5 years, so that will be 5,600. So that is your exempt income under ITA. So I ambil yang tu je, mana dia tadi? 5,600. Okay, and then you want to know what? Chargeable income. Right, chargeable income. Command bold I. Right, so under Pioneer, under ITA, how much is your chargeable income for the 5 years period? So you want it to be the lowest, right? So your ITA is 1,387. So let's look into your Pioneer status. All right, under Pioneer status, your exempt income total is a lot more, 4,600, and your chargeable income here total is, okay, let me see your ITA. Let's get the plus from Pioneer. What is your exempt? Exempt income here is 4,006, right? Pioneer total chargeable income is 2,538. Am I right? Do you get the same answer? What about your losses or loss? Do you have any loss carry forward? Do you have any ITA carry forward? So this is the thing that, remember the question asked for any item and amount carried forward to YA 2024. So I do not normally put CA because CA normally akan you can dapat sama je under ITA or Pioneer. But under losses, under ITA, do you have any losses that you carry forward? No, zero. Because why? Everything is utilized. ITA carry forward. Do you have any ITA carry forward? Yes. Let's see. You have 12,400 kat sini. Right. So that's a good thing. Right. Why you have 12,400 that you can carry forward. Okay. And then CA carry forward. Do you have anything? CA. Mana CA? CA carry forward is 0. Yeah. But under ITA, under pioneer status, go back to your pioneer status. Where is your pioneer status? Do you have any losses that you carry forward? 0. Alright. CA carry forward pun 0. What else? Loss. You have 150 losses that you can carry forward. Right. So that is the only loss, the only thing under ITA. Right. Remember that just now losses carry forward, you have 150 under pioneer status. ITA carry forward, you don't have, this one is not applicable. Alright, and CA carry forward 0 juga. Alright, so if you were to do this, alright, let's see. Okay, under pioneer status and ITA, which one is better? Exempt income, which one is, you want the higher or the lower? Exempt income. You want higher or lower?
Higher.
Higher. Alright, because the higher exempt income you have, the more you can distribute exempt dividend. So it means that the more income is actually being exempted. So this one is higher. In terms of chargeable income, of course, you want the higher or the lower?
Lower.
Lower, right? So you have ITA is better than. But in terms of losses, all right, you only have loss from your pioneer. All right, ITA is good. You have the carry forward. So in this case, you compare 3 against 1. So I would say ITA is better. All right. So what you say is that the question asks you that based on your computation, which incentive will you recommend to the board of directors and why? So you say that based on the above computation, it is recommended for the company to opt for which? For ITA, because the tax incentive provides apa? One is higher exempt income, lower chargeable income, and ITA to be carried forward. Right? So you show the summary and then you justify why you should go for the ITA. All right? So that covers your question number 3. Any question? All right, so in your exam, you have to do this lah.
Madam, I have one question.
Yes.
For the pioneer status, do we need to like adakan one more box for the non-promoted loss, 200?
Okay. Because that 200, are you saying that box dekat mana tu?
Can we just have one column for 2020?
This one.
Atas ni.
So kalau you buat 220 kat situ, so you buat 220 kat sini, you kena divide 200 and 1000. You have to show separately. Kalau you buat one column, what is your adjusted loss here?
Only 1000. The 200 is not mentioned.
Okay, you don't mention that. Alright, okay lah, you hilang one tick lah. Itu je. Satu tick je dekat kolom ni, nampak? You get that?
Ada markah ke kat 200?
Adalah.
Oh.
Because kan soalannya, the competition start on 1st of January to make sure that, okay, you show me what is your pre-pioneer and your pioneer period. Okay? Alah, satu tick je.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Alright, okay. So, okay, now I want you to do the next question, which is have you done this? Harapan 9 Berhad? Okay, we're going to use this. This is your capex that you incurred. And then this is your projection. This is only 3,000. So this is for Harapan Sdn Bhd. I want you to do this question now. I give before we discuss, because I need time to register for the conference. Yeah. So I'll see you again, inshallah. Stop presenting. Stop recording. Hmm.